You know, I'm Challenger, I have no life, and I'm Asian, so I probably can get rank 1. So in our last episode of Dragon Balls in My Mouth, we were at 508 LP. But now we'll be playing this Hecarim game, and usually when I play Hecarim, I do a full clear, and then I back, but I was actually healthy, and you can see Rek'Sai is on the top left side of the map, so I see he has no blue buff, and I go to his blue buff, because it's basically going to be free. Now using my E right here, it's kind of a mistake, because my E is also my escape, so if the enemy collapses on me, I don't really have an escape and will probably have to pop Ghost if I want to get out. Now the only one who did come was Janna, and basically we're gonna play a little game on who can get the blue buff, and well, I get it. And I don't really go for her because I know I probably won't kill her, and if I do commit to going after her, I'll probably die. And now since the enemy knows where I am on the map, I have to do the Scuttle Crab because I can't really get a gank on mid lane or bot lane since they know where I am and should be on a defensive stance. Anyways, that's a lesson you guys can take from that game. Now fast forward a bit into the future. The game is kind of even, but we're a little bit behind, and this team fight breaks out and TF gets away, which is actually a crucial part of kind of what the next play is going to be. So the enemy is 3-man down, and we want to do Baron because I think we can do it fast enough because we have a Jax. So I decide, hey, we actually need this Baron to win this game, otherwise I feel like we're gonna lose. But for some reason, Kennen comes a little bit late. MF didn't really come at all. And now it's kind of a very risky play, but also it's a risky play because TF still has ultimate, Jin has his ultimate, and Swain also had teleport, which I didn't realize if it was up or not. And basically the enemy had a lot of globals, so they could easily contest this Baron. One thing for sure is that we may have done it, but probably would have gotten a few people dead right after. If everyone did come, maybe like 2 or 3 people would have died, but now since the enemy gets the Baron, this game is completely lost and we lose the game. I'm not sure if it was a bad call. I feel like if everyone came immediately, it would have been a good call, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's hard to make a call, and if someone doesn't want to do it, it's very hard to go back on that call and be like, let's just do nothing and not get any objectives. Usually when you win a team fight, you want to get something out of it. Anyways, talking about the top lane, since Swain was nerfed, I'm trying to find a new champion for the top lane, preferably a tank, but I don't think Sion is my forte, and I should probably do another champion. But in this next game, somehow, Tobias Fate got really fed, and like these kills were handed to him for basically free, and so what we had to do was protect the GP comp, and that's how we'd win this game. And then I get my LP. And then finally we'll be facing Aphromoo and Huhi, and I'll be playing Taric, as Zyra was kind of nerfed and I don't really want to play her anymore. So I'm going back to my roots and playing, you know, my gay pride champ, Taric. And we actually get a big lead in an early game due to some interesting skirmishes, and boy have I forgotten how OP Taric was. I mean, I don't really know the matchups and I don't really know who he's good with, but I feel like he's a good match with Ashe. Like, I feel like he's a good champion. I feel like more pros should play him, but I don't know, they just don't like him for some reason, even though I feel like he's actually a good champion. Like, he scales so well into the late game and mid game. Maybe his laning phase isn't too good, but I don't know. I definitely need to get an opinion off him, off like a challenger support player or something. But yo, this chase with Huhi's Azir, I couldn't believe what happened. Like, honestly, this game is pretty over. Even though the kills aren't really too far apart from each other, we have so much towers down, and so, you know, the enemy team is just going savage for these picks, and I actually get away from this really long chase with Azir. And yeah, basically the game was kind of a stomp, but in our next game we'll be playing with Altec, Diamond Prox, Huhi, and Aphromoo. And I'll be playing Malzahar top lane. And I was a little bit skeptical doing this, but he's actually really good against melee champions because of his, you know, W. And so melee champions can't really go in melee range of him because he'll just, well, destroy them in trades. So yeah, it was actually a big surprise to me. And I definitely want to play more Malzahar in the top lane. You know, his only weakness is getting ganked and camped because he's like a mage with no escapes. But luckily in this game, I didn't really get, you know, camp too hard, and I'm actually doing well for once in the top lane. Man, like, I already got 4 kills and, you know, it's pretty good. But then, oh, I fuck up here. I give the enemy Lucian a kill that, well, could have easily been prevented by me. And it's worth it for the enemy team to get this because I have a lot of bounty gold on my head. But yeah, I think I've found my new champion for the top lane if I ever have to fill for that role. Now you can see my bot lane is getting, you know, a little destroyed, and there's a lot of attention going down there. So what I want to do is a 2-man Baron because Malzahar is a champ at that. But then I say something stupid, very stupid, that probably gave it away. I said in all chat /FF, which I thought meant my team should FF. But apparently that means the enemy team should FF. Oops, I definitely fucked up. Because it was either that, or to call all my teammates a bunch of losers and they suck, etc. in all chat to like raise the enemy team morale to think they're gonna win. But this is a valuable lesson we can all learn where a mind game kind of falls back on me. Like that's all it was trying to play some mind game tricks. I mean, it's worked before, but I think I said the wrong thing and implied that we were gonna win. So I think they got the hint that we were doing something suspicious. And yeah, basically that Baron probably lost us the game, and honestly, that game was my fault because I was trying to do some Chris Angel shit. So that game, I take like full blame. And yeah, it sucks. Probably should have not just said anything. And in the next game, I picked Sion because if we picked Malzahar, we wouldn't have a tank for our team. But I don't think I want to play Sion anymore. Next up we play Hecarim, and my plan this game is to get this Riven fed because he's actually a Riven main who I find is really good. So I do want to camp the shit out of him, and hopefully he can carry this game. Now, Hecarim can carry the early game and maybe the mid game, but not so much when it comes to the late game. So that's why I'm just trying to get, my team fed instead of myself. Unfortunately, I get a little cocky and I go for this weird ass dive that was pretty bad. And I die for it, but Sona dies as well for it because apparently he got caught in the minions. So now Ezreal has 2 kills and my bot lane is kind of fucked. So I go back to plan A, where I just camp top lane. Now eventually the bottom lane comes top lane because they want to get the top lane tower. So I say, hey, time to camp top lane again. But this is a really interesting skirmish. I want to focus the Soraka. He wants to focus Ezreal. I think going for the Soraka is more of a better plan. But eventually we do get our own kills with no assists coming from each other, which kind of sucks. So we lose out on about 300 gold. And right here, we're just getting a bunch of picks on the map. First it was Talia, and then it was Rumble, and then it was Soraka. So after getting a few kills, we say, hey, let's push down the top lane. Although they're a bit low and I feel like they can handle it, I think I should have maybe came a bit earlier just to take down the tower. Instead I was recalling, so we don't actually get the tower. So this is my bad, and then I remember, Talia hasn't ulted yet, so we have to get the fuck out of here. Unfortunately, she does make a really nice wall where we can't really escape, so now we're forced to fight everyone who's here. And they get our top tower and a pick on Lucian, and I respawn. And so they're doing the Baron, and it was actually really close, but I did fuck up because I was supposed to combine my auto attack Trinity Force with my smite. But unfortunately, I didn't do that, and I didn't get the Baron steal. And I do feel like if I didn't make some mistakes I made in that game, maybe it would have been a different game. But in this next game, we have Bjergsen. We also have Echo Fox KFO, but he's being blocked out by my fat ass. And since me and the Soraka are in our off roles, all we have to do is not feed. And then we'll get carried in this game. But then I fuck up because I didn't realize all in potential of Lulu and an Ezreal. And I actually do want our jungler to camp the mid lane or top lane instead of our lane. Because I don't really want to carry. I'm playing an off role, so I'm not as good as someone like Double Lift or something. But hey man, if people want to come because I have an arrow up, then that's fine with me. But what's happening is our allies are carrying us. I just have to not die and be utility for our team. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'd say it's kind of working. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. All I had to do was play passive and we'd win the game and I'd not be a liability for my team. Except for that level 1, that was obviously a really bad play by me. And yeah, the enemy team surrenders and we get a free win, bringing us to 468 LP. On the next game, we'll be playing AD carry again. And I don't know man, it's kind of weird. I'm doing decent for once. And in this next play, I didn't know this worked, but apparently did you know your Q is an auto attack reset? And I just learned that there and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And yeah, this game again, I was just basically a utility bitch. I didn't really do anything. I just played a little passive unless we can get a kill. And that makes us get another free win. And it looks like I did good, but I got an A+, so I didn't actually do that good, I think. And then we play Taric, but then we feed. But finally, we're back in the jungle, and we're playing Rek'Sai, and I don't really have a plan for this game. I'm just going around ganking people. There's no strong lanes I see in this match, except maybe there's Diana one trick. So she's also really good to camp for, and also Yasuo is easy to gank lane. But this gank goes so wrong because she's supposed to push in the minions, but went for a really weird turret dive, and now we were forced to go in because she went in, and enemy had backup with Shen and Sejuani, so that was her mistake, and now we're in a little pickle. But then there was some action in the bot lane, and the enemy is overextending so hard in our jungle that Echo teleports in and comes in for a little gank, and then we get 2 kills on the Shen and Yasuo. Although unfortunately Echo dies, but we do trade 2 for 1. although this kill was pretty close and I almost died, but luckily Shen didn't have his Q. Now I call my team to do the Rift Herald because we have pressure on the top side of the map, and like our top lane and mid lane are winning, so it seems like a good decision. But then the enemy team comes and we had to back away. And then I just flashed for the Rift Herald. I don't know if this person had smite or not, but he probably would have got it. And again, me, our mid laner and top laner are very strong, and this is one of the reasons why you shouldn't contest objectives if you're a little behind. Next up, we're trying to take down the mid tower, but the enemy does get an engage on us, and it was pretty bad on trying to take a tower because Draven wasn't with us. So it was definitely a bad decision, and I go on a wild goose chase with the, enemy team, but thankfully I have Deadman's Plate, and it's the sole reason of me getting away. So I do like getting Deadman's Plate on Rek'Sai because it does definitely give me a lot more mobility, and right here I don't have Smite, so what I want to do if they do come, because there's no way I'm getting this Baron, and so it's basically going to be a Baron bait. Like, if your team doesn't really have a siege comp, then you gotta play around the Baron and try and force a fight in some way. This is really hard to coordinate in lower elos, so I don't recommend doing something like this. But if you get higher elo, usually people are on the same page, especially if you say it in chat. Unfortunately, we don't get the Baron because I didn't have Smite, and we didn't really know Sejuani was coming, so we were a little surprised because we just killed her. But yeah, I mean, if we knew she was coming, we'd probably would have stopped the Baron and just turned on her. Unfortunately, she does get the 350 health Smite, and now we're in a little pickle, not a big pickle because we're still far ahead, but we just have to wait out the Baron. And now watch this Thresh, he's playing really up when we're not grouped as 5. And you can see little throws are coming, and it's not really looking too good for our team. And yeah, we lose the 4v5, I'm not going to lose my Guardian Angel, so I'm not going to help my teammates on this one, and we just have to retreat. And a little bit later, after that team fight happened, some, stuff is going on in the chat, and people are blaming the Draven for not being there, and like, we would have won if he was there, but I mean, someone was just forcing an engage when it was a 4v5. So this is kind of the blaming teammates mentality, and kind of not owning up to your mistake. Anyways, my teammates are throwing and kind of giving the enemy an opportunity to do the Baron, and then I go for the Smite steal, but then I Smite Karma. Oops. Looks like I misclicked. And also goodbye Guardian Angel. And yeah, now they get the push with, the Baron buff and can siege, but somehow Diana one-shots a Sivir. I didn't even see it happen, so I was like, what the fuck? And since she's dead, well, that means it's time to get as much kills as we can and go ham. Although I'm trying to peel for our Draven and try and kill the Yasuo, and I do have my targeting priorities set. So yeah, try and kill their second most damage dealer, screw the tanks, and we should be able to win this game. And we do get 17 LP off that. In this next game though, I just did my red side of the jungle, and I come to my other side of the jungle to discover that I've been cheesed. So I'm actually really far behind because I have to find some sort of farm. But fortunately, later in the game, we do get a 4v3 in the bot lane, with Twisted Fate coming in, and we do have a little comeback from what we started in this game, and things are going pretty smoothly. But definitely in the early game, I was pretty useless and I had to just basically farm. Fast forward a little bit into the future, we're just kind of chasing down the enemy and poking them and trying to get some picks off them, but then we fight in Fog of War and also a very small area, so my team actually gets mauled down, and yeah, Twisted Fate basically just got nuked at the beginning and walked into Diana QR combo, and I feel like the gold difference wasn't too much before this team fight, so maybe if we played it a little slowly, maybe the outcome of this game would have been better, but I do lose 18 LP for it. But finally, we'll be facing Imaqtpie, who I've not actually faced in a really long time, and also I will dominate. And they're actually playing a lot of unmeta characters, but also our team comp is pretty shit. Because we have an all AD team. We have Yasuo, Trundle, and Ashe. I mean, I'm the only source of AP, and that's why I picked Elise for this game, but I don't think it's enough. And my goal this game is to try and get as fed as I can, because I feel like I need to carry this game, otherwise we're probably gonna lose. And a lot of people are saying, hey, you're gonna camp Cutie Pie because he's Cutie Pie. That's not really how the game works. You usually want to camp someone if you see the opportunity, or camp for players you think are good. But your playstyle shouldn't change just because, someone special is in it or something. And yes, that is an AP Zac mid. And one thing that could have made a difference is I probably could have smited his blobs and we probably could have got a kill. But we do lose 0 for 2, and I didn't really see the Vi coming at me. Now our bot lane just died and I was covering, but then our Ashe actually says, I'm going to be 6 soon. So this is actually going to be an easy gank onto Imaqtpie, and he also uses Tumble already, so, well, he's going to be dead, and he kind of knows it, so that's a kill on him, and I guess I am going to camp him. Now if you look at the minimap, you can see that Thresh is at mid lane, and I want to do some sort of catch, so I ping him. The only one who's actually coming is the Janna, and this Yasuo is just actually just standing in mid lane, not coming. I was like, what the hell? We might have gotten a kill if he came, but you know, the Thresh flashes away and Vi is there to protect him. But I was actually kind of pissed that no one was coming, except for Jenna. She's a bit. Now right here, I'm just coming to see if I can force off the Vi and turn this around, but I didn't see the bot lane coming in, so I actually get a little gangbang, so I'm forced to flash over this wall, but the Zac does flash over with me, and he eventually does get me. Anyways, Yasuo mid lane, pretty useless right now, so fuck him. I'm going to try and camp maybe top or bot, but I think the winning hope for us is going to be our bot lane because Ashe, you know, is doing pretty good, so that's why I'm putting myself always around the bot side. But then we go for a little triple gank in the mid lane, but then this happens, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I definitely think a lesson learned here is I should stick to the bot side more, and that's exactly what I'm going to try and do. And also you probably noticed that I'm going more damage heavy on my build like Sorcerer Shoes and Skirmisher Saber. Again, it's because I feel like I have to carry this game, so I'm trying to get as much damage as I can. Otherwise it's up to our AD carry to actually win this game for us. Now we're trying to do a little push in the mid lane, because we got a little map pressure from Zac being low and Urgot being dead. Now, this is a little mechanical teamfight mistake. I should have cocooned the Vi, but I really wanted the kill on Zac. But now Dom is actually going pretty ham on me, so I'm forced to back away. And now Imaqtpie comes in with his Vayne and kind of wrecks us in a team fight. One thing that's kind of a mistake is we were pushing without Trundle or Ashe, so we didn't have as much pressure as we thought, and yeah, it was a 4v3 essentially. The Zac did definitely bait the fight for me, so I guess props to him. But now you can see that Imaqtpie's Vayne is split pushing really hard in the top lane, but we really want to make a pick out of something since we were very behind, so we do try to get a pick onto him and force it. But he's got that dodgy mechanic and he actually still has his flash, so my flash cocoon did not work, and now we're in a very sticky situation. And apparently most of the enemy team are collapsing on us as well, and the AP Zac is now doing some work on our back line. I was trying to peel for him with Riley's Crystal Scepter, but I didn't realize he had flash, so I die, and now it's up to my team to clean up this team fight for me, but more members of the enemy team are coming, and now this pick on Vayne was basically overcommitted and we lose the team fight. And then they actually get the Baron off the team fight, and now we're actually going to be trying to defend this tower, but we can't really because they do have the Baron pressure, and we definitely have to give this up, so maybe fighting on our inhibitor tower would have been better. But right now, as you can see, we're just trying to kite the team fight out, and it looks kind of good for us right now, but you can see the Vi is coming in on our left, and she goes full Hammerinos on her Ashe, so she does die. And then I actually go all in on the Vi because it's kind of worth it since she's worth a lot. And also if I did live, I probably wouldn't have defended this tower anyways. But after that push they did, they actually get a lot of picks on us, and off those picks we actually lose the game. You know, I feel really sad because when that Zac lived at the beginning of this game, I feel like maybe if I got that kill on him, maybe it would have been a different game, but who knows. Anyways, after that game, now we're at 445 LP, which brings us to rank 168. But on the next episode of Dragon Balls in My Mouth, we'll be facing 4 out of 5 members of the Cloud9 roster on the enemy team in a solo queue game. You can see Jensen, Meteor, Sneaky, and apparently that's Impact in the top lane. So in this game, I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm on the wrong team. Because honestly, my team are just a bunch of solo queue plebs. Even me, I'm a fucking solo queue pleb. You know, with a YouTube channel, I guess, but yeah, that's going to be an interesting match, so be sure to check it out on the next video, and if you guys did like this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you didn't, make sure to subscribe. Anyways, I am Panzer Dragon, and I'll see you guys next time.